Command has contact. Earth from the...
Sergeant, our comm lines have been cut and the relay sabotaged. It looks as though whoever's done this wants to disrupt our efforts here.
With only garbled static from Strategic Command, we're on our own.
Sergeant, if I may suggest, if we can recover the transmitter relay pods to repair the comms line, I may be able to get communications back online.
Very well then, our mission is clear, and time is critical. Move out.
Well, here we are, guys, back for some Trederran Strike Team. This is going to be an interesting one because we are going to be going off to another world. And the other world we're going to be going off to is Trederra itself. A box I have had for years but haven't even touched. I've recently painted up all of the Trederran characters that I had in there, so hopefully I won't be surprised by anything that we have to play with. This particular mission has a lot going on. It's another 2-pager for rules. So let's talk about the adversary enemy threat deck to begin with. So we have chosen an adversary for this. Now you can do a D8 to have a random adversary. You can have the Scaffold Gang, Shikari Nomads and Harvesters, the Crimson Hand, the Taco Baki clan, Fleshstalker and his minions, Robots of the Targo Plateau, Serpentmen of Jargano, or Trederrans, a faction of represented in your strike team. And I just feel with the plot that we've got going on here, the one I'm kind of running in the background, it would make sense to have the Trederrans as the bad guys here. So we have got the Shintaro Core. We have got a whole threat deck, which is just those guys ready for us to fight. And when we're drawing threat cards in this game, we're going to be rolling a d6 on a 1, 2, or 3. We're instead drawing one of the cards from our Trederran Otherworld threat deck, our adversary threat deck as it's called from this point forward. Our mission goal here is the heroes must search the region to find the gate that the attackers came through. Once a gate is found, they can follow the trail back to the gate to hunt down and recover the missing relay parts on the other side. Special rules. Whenever the Hold Back the Darkness roll is failed by 2 or more, example, a roll of 5 or less when 7 or more is needed, the darkness marker moves 1 extra space on the depth track. And I'm going to put a little corruption marker on here to try to remind myself to do that. So there is a little corruption next to the darkness, so hopefully that will remind me. So yeah, it's going to be moving up much quicker. All gates are going to be leading to the secondary world. And communications down. The start of the adventure, shuffle up all of the team ability cards that the heroes have in the pool and place them face down by the depth track without looking at them. Face down cards may not be used. At the start of each turn, any one hero may try to use the radio to piece together information. That hero must make a skill 5+ test using a random skill to determine the random skill that is chosen. I've got to roll a d6 for that. If successful, choose one of the face down team ability cards to flip over and become usable until the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, flip the card back face down if it is still in the pool. If 2 or more 6s were rolled on the skill test, the chosen card remains flipped face up for the rest of the adventure or until discarded. However, if the test is failed and 2 or more 1s were rolled, instead discard any one of the team ability cards from the pool. Relying on training, whenever a depth event is triggered, in addition to the normal effects, one hero may spend 4 grit/ability tokens, any mix, to add a team ability card to the pool drawn as normal. Unlike the starting team ability cards, this new card comes to play face up and ready to use. So I still have to pick my starting cards for this, so I'll do that in one moment. But we do have the ability to add additional ones into it. Objectives: finding the gate. The first clue the heroes find automatically has a gate in that room. In addition to any other doors, place this gate before other doors. Then we have to find 2 clues through the gate. When the heroes find the second clue outside of the world that they started in, then they have tracked down the location of the missing relay parts. Ignore any attacks or encounters listed on the final exploration token. Also ignore any door gate icons on the token, as the objective room has no exits. Reveal all Growing Dread cards in the stack as normal, and then the heroes must face an epic threat guarding the relay parts. Once all enemies have been defeated, the heroes have recovered the relay parts and successfully completed the mission. So we are coming against an epic threat this time around. Yikes. So let's see what we're going to be getting for our guys. So we're going to start with Finn to see if he's going to be getting one of his own choice or just a generic one. 1, 2, 3, generic. So we get a generic one. So Trederran Special Forces play anytime. Every Trederran hero gains D3 strike. So that's face down. Can't use that at the moment. So Morgan is going to choose one for the Confederacy. She gets to choose whether she's going to have a Confederacy one or a normal one. We're going to randomly pick a Confederacy one. And we've got Rise Up. So basically she gets to come back up without worrying about that. Without injury or anything like that. And, you know, sanity is always something we have to worry about in the derelict ship. And, okay, so next is Lucas, and he gets to have one of his own. While you have this team ability, all Union heroes are +1 initiative. Discard at the start of any turn to give all heroes +2 initiative and allow them to activate for enemies at their initiative level until the end of the turn. And finally, Grimlock, who really came into his own with that flamethrower last mission, but he's going to get a random regular one, and we have a regroup. This is a pretty good one. Plus, play at the end of any turn to choose one Trederran hero to rally around. Immediately place all of the heroes in empty spaces adjacent to the chosen Trederran, if possible, and each hero may heal wounds/sanity any mix equal to the chosen Trederran's lore value. So it's probably a good idea to get them around Morgan, our leader, because she's got a lore of 5. All 4 of those are nil void. We cannot use them until we until we're able to actually use our communication to do that. So yeah, at the start of every turn, we get to do that. But at the beginning of the turn, we are going to give a strike token to Finn. Finn is going to hold back the darkness, hopefully. 7! So everyone gets a strike because we passed that. Morgan is at full strike, as is Grimlock. He can't actually get any more. These guys are going to try and find this gate as soon as possible. So, 1, 2, 3. We're going to see if we can scavenge. Can we find anything inside the derelict ship? It's not normally a great for scavenging, I found, because it's just been abandoned. Okay, Morgan. Oh, 2 scavengers. Nice. Well done, Morgan. Just remind you, if we get a nothing found in this particular one, we actually draw. We can draw Darkstone, hopefully. So we find a small find, 10 XP and 50 gold, and nothing here, 10 XP. So we're gonna roll a dice in on a 4 or more. She gets the Darkstone. She did not. Okay, so on to Lucas. Got 2. He's going to try and scavenge. Or Grimlock gets a chance. And yep, he's scavenged the last one on there. Nothing here, but with the reclamation tools, do we find some Darkstone? We do not. Finally, Grimlock. Grimlock is speeding along. And this is the first time I think he has ever looked through a door. Will he find some loot? He does not. But he does find that horrible, horrible medical bay. So as he's looking through there, he does get some experience points for that. Well done. And last time his flamethrower really helped him get a ton of experience points. So hopefully that will do the same this time around. So what have we found? It's not a clue, it's an encounter. We only have 1 door coming out of here. And it's actually going to be just here. So what do we find? What encounter awaits us on the derelict ship? The last escape pod. A bank of ports line the wall here, each an empty housing for an escape pod, launched some time ago, save 1. The last escape pod still sits in its docking port, the hatch wide open, flickering lights from within. Here inside you see a lone figure in a spacesuit, sitting in the chair, facing away. Okay, so we have to choose a hero. And you know what? Grimlock is the luckiest guy alive, believe it or not. So he's going to roll 5 dice for this. And he needs at least 1 6. That's it, baby. We got a 6. If past you approach slowly, spinning the chair around to discover the long dead body of one of the crew. Something of value clutched in his dead hands, draw a derelict ship artifact. Well, isn't that lovely? And we find a ghillie saw. +1 combat, adjacent enemies take 2 wounds, ignoring defense for any 2 hit rolls of 1 they roll while attacking. Requires strength 3 or higher to use. This is one from the Flesh Stalker. So he can use that. He does have strength 3, but we are running out of things he can physically carry at this point. Okay, that was fairly okay. So let's see if Finn can hold back the darkness. He does not. So we move down 2 on the darkness marker on the depth track. So we've got a few things happening here. So first of all, we have lurching darkness. Whenever the hold back the darkness roll is failed by 2 or more, the darkness moves 1 extra space on the depth track. We just did that. We also have a darkness card, which we need to draw, which is Screams of the Damned. An unholy shrieking echoes in your mind. Each hero takes 3 horror hits. Also roll a d6 for each token in your side bag. The roll of 1 or 2, it is stolen by the mischievous spirits. Yikes. So 3 horror hits each. Okay, so we'll start with Grimlock, who's at the front there. So we're going to roll his sanity defense is 4 or more. Okay, so you take 1 sanity damage. He can shrug that off, that's fine. Then he's got 2 whiskies in his side bag, so he's going to roll these. If he gets 1s or 2s, he loses them. He loses one of those. 1 whiskey is lost, stolen by the mischievous spirits. Okay, 3 horror hits for Morgan, who is the next one along. She takes 1 sanity damage as well. And then she has got 2 whiskey and 2 bandages. And she's going to lose a bandage. No, a whiskey. She's got a bandage. We're probably going to need the sanity. Right. Next, 3 horror hits to Finn. Finn is, yeah, that's not great. So we're going to use the 2 strike that he has to ignore the incoming sanity damage. And then we're rolling 4 dice to see whether he manages to keep some of his items. He loses, we're going to get him to lose a whiskey because he has quite high sanity. And finally, last but not least, Lucas at the back there. He takes 1 sanity damage. And then he's got 3 items. Let's see if he can hold on to them. He holds on to all of his. He clutches them. So that was the darkness we've done there. So the Screams of the Damned. That's done with. Next, guys. Next, of course, we are having the Derelict Ship Interstellar Horror. So the person who's furthest away from our man Finn is, of course, Grimlock. So Grimlock is going to have Voices in the Dark. D6 horror hits. 4. He takes 1 sanity. Okay, we're going to give 1 strike using the commander's gas mask to Finn. And Finn is then going to roll to move. Finn got a good old 6 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's looking through this door here. We'll move the core space down to door there. And we have a short passage, which isn't going to be any good for us on the mission because we don't need anything from short passages. Does Finn find an artifact? Well, he finds some loot. So let's shuffle up the loot deck and see what he finds. D3 Darkstone. 2 Darkstone. Okay, so next Morgan is going to roll to move. She's got 1, so that's a grit for her. Always a grit result. So she's going to move one space forward, and that's fine. We're happy with that. Although that is, you know, that's going to block in. Do you know what? She's just going to use her one strike to gain +2 to her movement this turn. So she's going to 1, 2, 3, moving down there. And, you know, she's going to try and scavenge in here. She doesn't find anything in the medical bay of use. Right, so next it's Lucas, just off camera there. Half of him on screen. He's going to try and scavenge on this tile because he's actually on it. He doesn't find anything. And then our man, Grimlock. Man, he is speeding today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite far enough to go through there. I'm not quite sure whether you can scavenge on these tiles or not. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Gotta see if we can hold back the darkness. 10, I'll do it, guys. Strikes all around. And we're gonna give Lucas an additional strike token using our commander's gas mask this turn. Okay, so Finn, roll to move. A 1, it's a grit for Finn. Then he's going to use one of his strike tokens that he has to add 2 to his movement. So he can actually look through this door. He finds the Astro Navigation. Last time we were in here, they came across some a lot of undead, so hopefully that's not the case again this time. Okay, so let's get Morgan moving. 1, she's just stumbling along, and she's going to use the grit that she would have got because her max grit is 2, so she can't actually get any more. So she's going to add D6 to her roll. So 1, 2, 3. She'll just wait there. Okay, Lucas. One, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to wait there. And Grimlock. Just a 1, that's a grit. And that's more like Grimlock. And he's just going to move forward 1 space. Oh, and I didn't check to see whether we got an item for Finn for looking through it. I don't think we didn't. Well, we did it. We found the portal. That was pretty quick. I was kind of expecting to be on the derelict ship a little bit longer. Okay, so we've uncovered drone storage. Rows of savage-looking hooks line the ceiling here. From most of them hang a slumped, seemingly lifeless body draped in ragged-looking cloth, clanking and swaying in the drafty air. Each hero on this map tile takes 2 horror hits at the start of their activation each turn. Also, roll a d6. They're waking up. Flesh drones drop from their hooks to attack. Ambush flesh drones. 5 of these guys. Okay, so just to remind you guys, these guys' initiative is 6. So these guys are going to be in first before anybody else. They've got endurance 3. And flesh drones hit, ignore, armor, and have a damage value equal to the hit roll. However, it doesn't say they have any sinister experiments, which is pretty nice, because those sinister experiments suck butt. Okay, let's hold back the darkness as we begin our fight for survival in the derelict ship. So we managed to do that. Everyone gets a strike. Yay, strike! And we're going to choose to give Finn a strike token from the commander's gas mask. We also, let's just put that up here, hopefully that will stay there. We also need to see what elite ability the flesh drones have. So elite ability 2 is failed experiments. Flesh drones gain the keyword undead and have regeneration 2. The start of each turn heals 2 wounds. Now, the fact they have undead is pretty handy for one of my guys. Finn has a bit of rivalry with the undead. He gains 1 grit on a roll of 5 or more if undead are on his map tile. So let's decide who is targeting whom. So this guy's going to go after our man Lucas. This guy's going to come against Morgan. This guy is going to go against Grimlock. This guy, as he already has somebody, is going to have to prioritize Finn. And so we got 2 people on Grimlock, 1 on Finn. They are properly in the midst of this, and the enemy gets to go first. So wish me all the luck that you have for me, guys, because this could be pretty tough. So, it's only combat 2, which isn't terrible, to be fair. So, we're going to start with this. We're going to go from left to right. So, this is one guy attacking Lucas. A 1 and a 5. So, the 5 is going to do 2 damage. Sorry, 5 damage. So, we have to roll, see if we can defend that. Defense is 4 or more. We use a grit to re-roll that. Yeah, he blocked it. So the next one is against Morgan. 3 and a 1. They both miss. We'll go for these 2 against Grimlock. Okay, 2 hits. Going to be 6 each. Grimlock doesn't have the best health, so hopefully we can get. We can avoid this. Yep, he just needs a 3 or more for his defense, so that's fine. And the last guy attacking Finn. That's a 6. Finn defense at a 5. So do you know what? All around, we're good, guys. Okay, so we start with Finn. We activate on the map tile. We take 2 horror hits. So we're going to take 1 sanity damage from this drone storage. I don't think we have to keep rolling on the on this. I may be wrong, but I'm going to play you just do it the once. Otherwise, we'd be in here forever. Because they just keep spawning, wouldn't they? Okay, so Finn. What does Finn want to do? Well, of course, he has his range of 4 shots to breaching gun. So let's use that bad boy. It's 2d8. I think I have to roll to move him first. Okay, so 4 and a 3, we're going to use a grit to re-roll those. So a critical and a regular. That's fine. Okay, so let's do the crit first. Ugh, we'll use his other grit to re-roll that. So it's 4 damage. The most he can take is 3 on the other one. The defense is 2. So another 2 damage goes through, and that actually kills him. Oh, that was sweet. 25 experience points. Previously, they've been tougher, but I think it's because they've had sinister experiments with them, which they don't have for this particular this combat. I guess it's because these guys have been, you know, in this drone storage for a while, maybe. See Morgan, roll to move. She got a 6. She takes 2 horror hits from activating on this tile, which she blocks those. And now she is going to use, she has a pickaxe in one hand, her sergeant's saber in the next other hand. So she has 3 dice, 4, 4, and a 3. She needs a 3 to hit, so she's hit on all of those. Okay, so let's assign 2 of these to this guy at the back, 1 of these to that guy there. So for those 2, okay, so we're going to add 1 to the damage output from this using her sergeant's saber. So 2 get soaked up by the armor, leaving 1. 2 get soaked up by the armor, leaving 4. The most they can take is 3. So that's 4 damage, 4 wounds on that. This guy at the back. Then 1 over here. We'll use a grit to re-roll that. So that's 4 damage. Going to take 2 damage after soaked up by armor. Okay, so next it's going to be our man Lucas. Roll to move. 3. He's got 2 sanity damage coming through from the drone storage they're in. He takes 1 sanity damage from that. He is then going to attack with, he's got his hunting knife and an axe in the other hand. So he's going to roll 3 dice, trying to melee the people around him. He's going to use, he hasn't got any grit to re-roll that, but we do have 2 strike. 2 crits. That is going to be enough. So that's going to go against him. That's going against him. So we'll do this one first. 3 damage. This guy is toast. And we gain a strike for killing that guy due to the Strike Team helmet. We'll be in some experience points as well. This one against there. So we need to get at least 3. So that's 2. And we can use the axe there to add +2 damage to one of your combat hits. So that's 4 coming through. Only 3 go in the end, so that's enough to kill him. He gets a strike for doing that. And 50 experience points in total for wiping out those guys. With the help from Morgan, I would add. Okay, Grimlock. Grimlock's not going to use his big flamethrower at this point because it's kind of too close to this. So we're going to say he's got the ghillie saw in one hand. And he's got the T16 field pistol on the other. He's going to just try and slice them open with his gill saw. Okay, we're going to use a grit to reroll those. We're going to actually choose 3 different other dice for those. 6, a 4, and a 2. So we're going to do them both on the same one. So we're going to go against this guy here. So the crit, that's going to be 3 damage through because he can only take 3 damage. And the other one, it's going to be 1 damage. We use a grit to re-roll that because we just want it to be, if that was a 4, that would have been fine. It's a 6, that's perfect. Kills this guy. 25 experience points. And a strike for killing. Okay, hold back the darkness, Finn. Oh, and sorry, before... Okay, I'll keep that 5, guys. But I did forget that when I activated Grimlock, he should have taken sanity damage. So let's roll for that. So he takes 1 sanity damage. And we've got a depth event. And Lucas is going to take one for the team here because he's going to spend, as we've got a depth event, we have a special ability which is relying on training, where we can basically spend 4 of our ability tokens, or grit plus ability tokens, any mix there, to add an additional Trederran team ability to our kind of stack, but also be able to use it as opposed to it being kind of undone there. So let's just see if this is going to be a helpful or a hinderful one. So it's just a regular one. We have War Effort. Each hero immediately gains 1 starting side bag token of their choice. But we did get a depth event, which is bad. Fairly certain that is a sanity breaking on. Echoes of Death. A wave of pure terror washes over you, flickering flashes of nightmares in your mind. Each hero takes d6 horror hits. The total sanity damage taken is equal to or greater than the number of heroes. Also add a growing dread card to the stack. So we are getting a total of 4 sanity damage coming through. Okay, let's start with Finn. Okay, he's going to need to get a little more than that. He needs 4. So we're going to use 3 strike that he has to remove 3 of the damage he's got coming through. He does take 1 sanity damage. So I'm just going to put this on him at the moment so we can keep track of this. 4 sanity damage coming through to Morgan. She needs a 4 or more. So she's going to have 2 sanity damage coming through. She's going to use 1 of her strike to get rid of 1 of those. So she only has 1 sanity damage coming through. We take 2 more sanity, we're adding a growing dread to the stack. Okay, Lucas, come on man, you keep it together. 2 6s, 2 2s. Unfortunately, he has nothing that can stop this because we just used his tokens, so I don't need to track this anymore because we're adding a growing dread card to the stack. Finally, Grimlock. Okay, so we'll use 2 strike to ignore 2 sanity damage. Okay, and then this guy is attacking Grimlock. 4 and a 3. The 4 is going to hit. Grimlock, yeah, he's got to take the damage, but he's going to use his last strike token to reduce that to 3 damage instead of 4. Okay, roll to move for Finn. 1, that's a grit. I'm happy with grit, guys. Keep bringing it this way. And Finn can actually just move 1 space there. Finn's going to use his breaching gun and try and blast this thing into oblivion. Before that happens, though, we have started on the drone storage space, so we take 2 sanity damage from the horrors on here. He takes 1 sanity damage from that. And then he's going to try and blast this thing. 3 and a 1. He's going to use that grit he just got to reroll those. 2 crits. A 4 and a 1. Oh, just not enough there. So we take 3 damage with 1 of them. 1 damage with the other, but if you recall, like I literally just did, because he is Republic of Tarkon, he actually gets to add a +1 damage to one of his attacks. So that's 5 damage in total. Cow! That is another 25 experience points. And we're going to get ourselves a bit of loot, I think, guys, for this. Before we do that, let's catch our breaths. So, starting with Finn, who had already gone, a D3. So he's going to recover 2 sanity. He doesn't have anything else he can get rid of. Morgan's not activated yet, so she's going to get only the 1 sanity recovery. D6 roll for Lucas, because he's not activated yet. He's getting rid of all the sanity damage he currently has on it, which is classic Lucas. And then Grimlock, 2, he's going to get rid of 2 of his wounds. Okay, let's see what we get. And I won't be shuffling this all the time. I will just draw 4 cards out after I've shuffled once. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, Finn gets 20 XP and 1 Darkstone. 25 coins for Morgan and 20 XP. D6 times 50 for Lucas. He found just the 50, I'm afraid. Finally, we get an artifact card. Find a work light. You take 2 fewer horror hits from hearing voices in the dark. Once prevented, you may prevent the darkness from moving on the depth track on the D6 roll of a 3 or more. Well, that's pretty good, having a little work light. Okay, Morgan activates. We're going to roll 2 dice because we're on the drone storage area. And she doesn't take any sanity damage, but she's going to roll to move. I swear to God, I'm not... these dice aren't loaded, but I kind of feel like they are sometimes. So she's going to use that grit she just got to add a d6 roll to this, because otherwise she's going to block people in. So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Scavenge? Nothing. Okay. So next is Lucas. 2 horror hits for starting on the drone storage. Oh, he's not on the drone. Do you know what? She wasn't on the drone storage tile. It's only people on this space. So they shouldn't have been rolling for that when they were on this space. So never mind. Okay, so so let's roll for Lucas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to try and scavenge. Yeah, he finds something. But what? What does he find? A useful discovery. Draw a gear card. 10 experience points. Yes, please. He finds a scaffold hat. Gain +1 initiative for each mutation you have. Limit +3. Okay, so there was... I wonder what that's doing here. Okay, Grimlock, he is actually on this tile, so he does take a sanity attack, and it's 1 sanity damage to him. And he's going to move. And you know what? He's going to stay there, because otherwise he's going to block his friend from moving through. And he scavenges, he does find something. But what? What does he find? Would it be another useful discovery with my terrible shuffling? Or would it be something else? Find out next week on... It's Chilling Dread. Draw a Growing Dread card and add it to the stack. 10 experience points though. That was awful. I didn't even know that was in there. So we now have 2 Growing Dread cards in the stack, which isn't a great, great thing to have. And let's see if we can hold back the darkness. We cannot, and we suffer by 2 or more, so the darkness moves up 2. So we get a darkness card, and we have demonic speed. All demon enemies are now +1 initiative and +2 move remains in play. If we come across any demons, we're in trouble. I think we're going to be safe from demons this time around, though, but I don't know. Okay, and we get Voices in the Dark, and that's going to be going to Morgan. So Morgan is going to be taking 1 sanity damage, which she doesn't worry about. She's heard these things before, and she's not that fussed at this point. She's like, oh. Okay, sanity damage for our man Finn. So he takes 1 sanity. We're going to give a strike to Finn using the commander's gas mask. Then he's going to roll to move. Off camera there, but it was a 6, and I'm gonna keep that. So I don't care what you say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not quite through this gate yet. Maybe he's like just having a quick look at this kind of console there. Console's from Star Saga, if you were wondering where this other terrain is coming from. Okay, 2 sanity damage to Morgan. She takes 1 sanity damage from this. It's like a slow, gradual kind of war of attrition with this. So we get 2. We're going to move her up there. Next, it's Lucas. He doesn't have to worry about any sanity damage. Let's see if he can get us through this portal. 1 grit, and he is just going to move there. 2 sanity damage coming through for Grimlock. Grimlock saves none of those, so it's 2 sanity damage on him. I'm going to roll to see if he can speed through the gate. This guy. And he can look through it as well.
This can't be right. Looking at the coordinates of this portal, it's leading us straight to Trederran.